The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 96. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Visit our blog at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a special lady who is all the way from Kona Island, another part of Hawaii, and she is a phenomenal woman. I'm so glad that she came on and she's here to share her story. She's an online marketing consultant and her name is Cindy Lin. So Cindy, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Hey, aloha. Yeah, I love this stuff. Thank you, Sheena, for providing this platform so all sisters can come together and empower each other. Right now, we're both in Hawaii, just on different islands. I also packed everything from Texas and currently reside in the Big Island of Hawaii. So, yeah, first of all, thank you for having me on. I'm very grateful to share my story. I also want to give a shout out to all the listeners, give you all praise for deciding to be proactive and seek out knowledge to become bolder and grow stronger, improve your self-confidence. So my goal today is to share my story so you can get some aha moments of your own. So with that, a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Taiwan. English is my second language. And when I was 19, I was influenced by all these Hollywood movies. I just really wanted to come to America. I want to pursue the American dream. So I moved to Michigan for college education. And unfortunately, as you know, Michigan turns out to be one of the coldest states in the U.S. with over 200 inches of snow per year. But I survived despite having to dredge through the snow half of the time. I know it definitely built my character because sometimes you just got to do whatever it takes. Years later, I went back to school for my MBA and then landed a job with a Fortune 500 company. Well, at the time, it seemed like I had achieved my dream. We all have different dreams at different stages of life. I had, a glamorous title on the business card, getting to wear fancy business outfits, flying business class, global travel, work on international projects. But I knew that deep down inside in my heart, I was more so pleasing my parents, and I know I was made for more than just climbing the corporate ladder. I always felt like a cog in a machine. I'm not sure if... I guess people who work in corporate world should understand, like, you feel like this cog in a machine, not just a gear somewhere down the machine, like one of those tiny bumps on the gear. I guess one pivotal moment in my life is that one day I discovered that my father had been ill in Taiwan while I was working in the U.S., and he was hiding it from me for a while so that in his mind, he didn't want to interfere with my so-called career. So at that time, I immediately rushed back to Taiwan, paid my father a visit, and I stayed for a while, a good a month or 2 months. I can't recall, but I just felt the pressure and guilt for letting my coworkers down, for not being there for so long. And I still remember the day my father waited with me in the rain for my taxi to take me to the airport. And he actually thanked me for visiting him. And he just stood there in the rain watching me riding away in the taxi. I'm not sure why he didn't go find a shelter. He was standing there. And I just remember that visual so much. And it really crushed my heart because in my mind, I owe him my life for raising me. If anything, I should thank him. I guess Asian parents don't really say, I love you, I miss you, or even thank you. I just never heard those words growing up. So shortly after that, I realized that was not the American dream I signed up for. I want to be full control of my destination, set my own goals. I want to have a business or a career not limited to any location so I can be with family whenever I want to. And I want to be accountable for myself while impacting others in a positive way using my talent. So I guess at that time, I really took a big leap and started a new chapter in my life. So right now, I am a Christian entrepreneur. I'm a co-founder of a successful marketing consulting company called JC Global Solutions. We provide online marketing tools and services and education to empower others, individuals or small businesses, to reach their financial and lifestyle goals. So that's the brief of my story.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And it's true. I don't even think I've ever said I love you to my dad either. It's not. I think it's just maybe an Asian thing. I mean,
Right.
I feel actions speak louder than words. I mean, I know I love my parents and they love me back, but yeah, I can relate. Like, I can't even recall saying I love you to my father. So, Cindy, what's your favorite self-confidence quote?
My favorite confidence quote, I guess as much as I want to quote someone famous, I just have to share this quote given by my friend Kennedy. He's also a life coach. It just gave me so much breakthrough at the time. I was stuck at a so-called comfortable and good job, but not so fulfilling. And I was also stuck in a poor relationship. But I was not brave enough to break out and be single again. While all my friends on Facebook seem to be settling down. I just don't want to have major changes in my life. And I was so scared to be judged. And then one day, my friend just told me, and I quote him, he said, "At the end of the day, everyone is worrying about their own life. So why waste any energy worrying about what other people may think when at the end of the day, nobody is even thinking about you?" And I know this is blunt and maybe sound a little bit harsh, but it's true. Like, we're so caught up in thinking, oh, if I do this, what may people think about me? Well, the truth is, people may care about you or maybe even leave negative comments about you or think negative about you, but they're definitely not obsessing over you. So I guess stop having this story playing in your head, how others may judge you. Instead of spending your energy worrying, why not spend your energy achieving?
I love that. And it's true, right? I mean, and I like that you said, at the end of the day, most people don't even think about you, right? I mean, they're more worried about their own problems and stuff.
Yes.
We forget about that because we're so consumed about what other people might think of us, if they think we're nuts or, little things like that. So I'm really glad you mentioned that quote. And, in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
Yeah, first I wanted to clarify, I only support self-confidence for good, not for evil, because I'm sure there are people out there with plenty of self-confidence, but they're getting it from an evil source. So my definition of self-confidence goes, as long as what you're doing is moral, ethical, out of love, not hurting anyone, serving humankind and God, you have nothing to be ashamed of. Self-confidence is like having clarity. You put your flag down and declare what you stand for, what you stand against, what you are about. And the more clarity you get, the more self-confidence you can have. It's a state of clarity and certainty.
I love that. And, that's a great definition. You have to, when you said, you got to stand by what you believe in, as long as you're helping the greater good, it makes a big difference. And nobody really talks about, what's good and bad self-confidence. So thanks for sharing that. And, what was your life like before the discovery?
Well, I have to explain a little bit about my childhood. Both my parents were very hardworking, trying to provide a better life for the family. And I never saw them in the day or nighttime. I was what Americans refer to as the latchkey kid, and although I still lose the key from time to time, but I was one of those kids with the necklace with the key on it. But there was no close relationship, no quality family time, and as a result, very little hands-on parenting. So because of this, I felt unloved and unwanted. I would say I had no idea how much it had affected my self-worth and self-confidence even into my adulthood. I was already rebellious in my younger days, but I just keep finding myself making one mistake after another. I was looking for love and attention from the wrong places, wrong crowd of friends, wrong people, wrong men, and I was depending on others to show me love, to compensate what I was lacking in my childhood.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And sometimes, we do that, right? We try to find comfort in others to just seek that love, even though we already have it inside us. So, what was that realization or aha moment when you realized that, you can be who you wanted to be? You didn't have to seek love from other people. Well, seek, their permission pretty much.
Yeah. So because of my childhood, because of mistakes I made, for a long time, I lived in guilt and remorse, and I feel like I don't deserve a good life or a good relationship. And my aha moment is that Jesus loves me, and He already forgave my sins. So that's and I can just let go. I can let go that bondage already. And I also recognize there's good and bad in this world. It's like when you meet certain person or come to certain circumstances or opportunity, we know by intuition, especially women, we know deep down inside, okay, should I go on from here? Is this a good person? And we usually know if it's a good source, it's from a good source or a bad source. So by cutting off the bad, like for once and for all, stop playing with both sides, good and the bad side. I was able to allow the good into my life. It's like, if I have to describe it, it's like moving from darkness into the light. Like you just you put this line in the sand and just cross over it. Because when you try to play in both worlds, when there's darkness, you cannot see, for example, your true self-worth. And when you cannot see, you lack clarity. And when you lack clarity, you have like lack of everything. When you lack clarity, you're also double-minded. I guess this book I read often confirms by saying a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways. That's how I feel. I guess you cannot have a messed up personal life and trying to excel in professional life. It's almost everything you do matters. You have to make sure you stay with what's kind, what's good, whatever's from a good source. That's the basic principle really, really helped me.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, I like the tips that you mentioned. There is good and bad, but you have to realize what's good and just come out of the darkness and into the light. So I really love that. And, what's your life like now? I mean, other than being in Hawaii.
Yeah, I left the cubicle farm now in Hawaii. But, it's all because I was able to identify what's good from bad and light from darkness. And I make better and quicker decisions instead of focusing on, what did this person say about me? Could that person be true? But once you identify that person is from the bad source, you don't dwell on it anymore. So, and even my own, I live a guilt-free life right now because, like I said earlier, I know my sins are forgiven. So I look at my life with a new sense of purpose, confidence, and clarity. And I am more secure to who I am, who I'm not. I can focus my energy on improving competency in specific areas. And when you improve competency, it leads to more confidence. And I guess I also put my trust in God. He always has a way to open doors for me, introduce me to the right people, right opportunity. I mean, just like Sheena invited me for this podcast. I hear people say, "Oh, it must be from God," and I always wonder, what does that mean? And for me, I guess on the same day or a day earlier, a friend called me and said, "Cindy, can you please call me every day and pump me up and so I can improve my self-confidence?" And then another, I guess, a student of mine telling me, "Cindy, I want to be more confident. I don't know how to call myself in my email signature." I guess people struggle with little things like that. Can you teach me about self-confidence? And then boom, Sheena reached out to me about self-confidence. And although I wasn't all prepared, but it's like you feel the fear and do it anyways because it's from a good source. Like Sheena is from a good source, right? Like I said earlier, evil versus good. You can identify what's good and you make quicker decisions. That has opened a whole new world for me.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I'm glad to know I'm coming from a good source.
I know I don't want to make it sound so boo-boo, but it's just really good principle for me.
No, it's a great principle to live by. And, Cindy, to the listeners who's listening to your episode, there may be on their own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to them?
I would say just do your best and let God do the rest. And I know other people sometimes say, fake it until you make it. I want to change it up and say, faith it until you make it. If you're doing something good, something of good moral, God is with you in every step of the way. So, and always remember, stay in the light. Like listening to this podcast, that's staying with the light. You're feeding good words in your mind. You're renewing your mind. Stay with good people and just enjoy the game.
Thanks for those tips, and I love that. And, Cindy, if our listeners want to connect with you a little, to know what you do or want to connect with you with their service or just even to get to know you as a person, is there any websites or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, I do have a few websites. You can find me on my English blog at cindylinonline.com. I also manage a Mandarin Chinese blog. It's called cindyblog.com. I share tips and tips and knowledge on self-development, internet marketing strategies. You can find me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Cindy Lynn Success Club. And on YouTube, it's youtube.com/user/follow Cindy Lynn. Or my business consulting website is called jcglobalsolutions.info.
Thank you so much, Cindy. And to the listeners, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Cindy's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank Cindy for taking the time to share her story. So thank you so much, Cindy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Not a problem. It was an honor. To the listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us on the Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit thetaoofselfconfidence.com for links to everything we chatted about today, as well as killer resources, gifts, and so much more. Start your inner journey to self-confidence today.